The doctor didn't even look at me when he said it. His voice was barely more than a breath, a cold whisper that cut through the bright hospital room like a blade. Leave this hospital and divorce her. For a second, I thought I had misheard him. The ultrasound screen still glowed beside us, filled with the grainy outline of the tiny life my wife and I had prayed for. The fluorescent lights hummed above, and outside the window, the late morning sun poured into the maternity wing like a blessing. Yet in that moment, everything felt dark. If you believe in kindness and second chances, take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness Journal. Stories like this remind us that even in the face of cruelty, compassion can win. My name is Arvind Khatri, and that morning was supposed to be the happiest day of my life. My wife, Meher, lay on the examination bed with her hand resting on her barely visible baby bump. We had tried for 5 years to conceive. 5 years of tests, tears, and quiet nights where she would pretend to be asleep so I wouldn't see her crying. And finally, at 32, Meher was 12 weeks pregnant. The ultrasound appointment felt like a sunrise after a very long night. The doctor, a tall man named Dr. Rakesh Bhadoria, had a reputation for being brilliant but blunt. I didn't mind bluntness. I valued honesty. But when he pulled me aside into the hallway and leaned close, his breath smelling faintly of mint and coffee, his words didn't sound like medical advice. They sounded like poison. He told me the child wasn't mine. He said the dates didn't align. He said I should save myself from raising another man's baby. He said it quietly, as if he were doing me a favor. My ears rang. My chest tightened. I remember staring at the polished hospital floor, seeing my reflection warped in the shine. I thought about Meher inside, smiling nervously at the nurse, unaware that her marriage was being dissected just outside the door. I thought about the nights we had held each other after failed attempts. I thought about the way she had looked at me when the pregnancy test finally showed 2 lines, trembling like she was holding a miracle. I walked back into the room and looked at her. Her eyes were wide and hopeful. She asked what the doctor had said. In that split second, I realized something that would shape the rest of my life. I knew my wife. I knew her heart, her integrity, her fierce loyalty. I knew the woman who skipped lunch to save money for our treatments, who lit incense at the temple every Sunday praying for a child, who never once blamed me when doctors hinted that the fertility issues might be mine. There was no doubt in me. Not even a crack. So I smiled and told her everything was fine. But inside, a storm had begun. We left the hospital that afternoon under a blazing midday sun. The city buzzed with its usual rhythm, vendors shouting, auto rickshaws honking, schoolchildren laughing as they spilled onto sidewalks. Life moved on as if nothing had happened. But I couldn't let it go. A doctor doesn't make accusations like that without something pushing him. Either he was dangerously incompetent, or he was deliberately trying to break us. Over the next few days, I requested copies of all our medical records. I contacted another specialist, a respected obstetrician named Dr. Lena Verghese, known for her integrity. She agreed to review Meher's reports and perform another ultrasound. I didn't tell Meher about the accusation, I only said I wanted a second opinion for peace of mind. She trusted me without question. The second appointment took place on a bright Wednesday morning. Sunlight streamed through large windows into a warm, welcoming clinic decorated with paintings of mothers and infants. Dr. Lena studied the reports carefully, her brow furrowed not with suspicion, but with confusion. When she performed the ultrasound, her expression softened into a smile. She turned the screen toward us and pointed gently. The gestational age matched perfectly with our treatment timeline. There was no discrepancy. No hidden timeline. No secret betrayal. Dr. Lena explained that minor variations in early scans were common and that any competent doctor would know that. Her voice was calm but firm. She even raised an eyebrow when I cautiously mentioned Dr. Rakesh's claim. She said that such an accusation without conclusive evidence was unethical and deeply unprofessional. Relief flooded me so intensely I had to sit down. Meher squeezed my hand, unaware of the shadow that had just been lifted. Tears filled my eyes, not just from relief, but from gratitude. I had trusted my heart, and it had led me right. But the story didn't end there. Something inside me demanded accountability. I thought about other husbands who might not have trusted their wives as fiercely. I thought about marriages that could have shattered because of a careless whisper in a hospital hallway. I filed a formal complaint with the hospital board and the medical ethics committee. I attached Dr. Lena's evaluation and asked for an investigation. Weeks passed. During that time, Meher's belly grew, and so did my sense of purpose. Every afternoon, we would walk in the park near our home. The sunlight filtered through neem trees, casting gentle shadows on the path. Children ran around us, their laughter echoing. Meher would talk about baby names, about painting the nursery a soft yellow. I would listen, feeling both protective and proud. This was my family. No one would tear it apart with suspicion. The investigation revealed something shocking. Dr. Rakesh had been under scrutiny for months. Several patients had reported insensitive behavior, but no one had filed a detailed complaint before. When the board reviewed his case, they discovered a pattern of reckless statements and emotional harm. He was suspended pending further action. The day I received the letter confirming the suspension, I stood by our balcony in the warm afternoon light. The sky was a brilliant blue. I felt no hatred. No desire for vengeance in the traditional sense. My revenge was not destruction. It was truth. It was protecting my wife's dignity and ensuring no other family would endure that pain. Months later, on a golden morning in early spring, our daughter was born. We named her Anya, meaning grace. As I held her tiny body in my arms, sunlight spilling across the hospital room, I thought back to that whisper in the hallway. If I had chosen doubt instead of trust, I might have lost everything. Instead, I chose faith. I chose love. Meher looked at me from her hospital bed, exhausted but radiant. In her eyes, I saw the same unwavering trust she had always given me. That trust was the foundation of our family. No rumor, no accusation, no shadow could break it. Before you reach the end of this story, I want to ask you something special. If this journey of trust, love, and standing up for what's right moved you in any way, please comment "Trust Wins" below. And if this story touched your heart, if it reminded you to stand by the people you love even when the world plants seeds of doubt, please like, share, and engage with this video. Your support helps spread stories that matter. Sometimes revenge isn't about hurting someone back. Sometimes it's about choosing integrity when betrayal would be easier. Sometimes it's about standing in the daylight, holding your wife's hand, and knowing that love, true, tested love, doesn't crumble under whispers. It grows stronger.